Here are my 5 top tips to consider in your productivity game as a career starter. The first thing I would say is consider and pay attention to when you have your most or highest amount of energy, and you should be making the most important decisions for yourself, for your life, for your career, and doing your most important projects at that time. Now, people have the highest amount of energy at different points in time during the course of any particular day. For some people, it's the first thing in the morning. For some people, they just have this surge of energy towards the end of the day, and some people, it just happens randomly, so they can't really say if it's in the morning, if it's in the afternoon, or if it's in the evening. People's bodies differ, so you need to study yourself and know when you do the biggest, when you have do have the biggest amount of energy in your body. For me, is the mornings, and that is how it has always been. So I do my most important tasks and projects of any day during that time. So I try as much as possible to avoid taking calls, except it is like team calls, which is almost always recurring. And I can see how that is also important because I need to set the day and set guidance and directions for my team. But left to me, in the mornings are when I do my best pieces of work. I just put in a lot of focus time there, and then I just get to it and do it. Okay, so if the morning works for you as well, make sure that that biggest goal you want to achieve during the course of any day is being sorted out in the morning. And the reason why I also like this is because usually when you've done your biggest, most technical, most complex tasks in the morning, it just gives you that surge of energy to keep going, gives you that winner's mentality, winner's feel that, oh, I've already won the day. Okay, like I said, it depends. You need to study yourself and know when you have the biggest energy flowing through your body. So you need to know when that is. The next thing I'm going to say to you is you need to reduce the amount of things you have to do in any particular day. You really, really, really need to reduce it to a maximum of 3 in terms of the things you need to achieve. For me, I have one big goal for every single day. I do not go to sleep except I achieve that one single goal per day. So that goal may be supported by smaller other tasks, or there are other things that are recurring that needs to happen during any particular day, but I refuse to commit myself to delivering the things I cannot realistically deliver in any particular day. And so, because obviously if you're a career starter, you are responsible for doing a lot of things that have probably been delegated to you. That is where you're having conscious conversations around priority comes into play. Like if you already have a big goal that is of priority to your bosses, you can then, if they are then trying to put more things on your plate, you can then renegotiate your time and priorities for maybe another day. But you definitely need to reduce the number of things you actually achieve in a day to give you time for recovery. And I'm just going to touch on the recovery that I've just said, because a lot of people think the only time they can really recover is when they go home and sleep. A lot of people think sleep is recovery first. It is part of it, but sleep is not all recovery. Sometimes you just need to catch your breath, relax, don't do anything technical complex. Let blood flow through your whole system, feel relaxed so that you can take on the next thing, right? There is that part. There is also the part that when it comes to when you actually recover, you don't need to wait till like the weekend. Saturday and Sundays for recovery, during the week is for hustling. You can build recovery into your day, and that will help you achieve more. So for instance, if you've gone a 2-hour sprint of work meetings, you can take up to 10-15 minutes to relax from all of that. Probably take a quick walk, whatever that means for you, depending on your situation. So remember that, don't fail at your commitments. Commit as little as you can on a daily basis so that you can have a fair shot at achieving all the things you need to achieve. Okay. Another thing I want you to pay attention to is this: there is something called decision fatigue, which basically means that the quality of your decisions will definitely see significant decrease as the day goes away. So basically, the quality of decisions you would have made in the morning is probably different from the quality of decisions you'll be making later in the evening when your body is tired, or when your brain is tired itself. So think about it. Do not commit to making very important decisions that affect your life, your career, and your project later in the evening when you are basically tired. There are some times when I've had situations at work where something comes up later in the evening, like maybe very late, sometimes in the night actually, and then my bosses can just say, "Oh, you know what? Let us sleep over this." The best thing ever, because the decision you make that time when you're tired, obviously overstimulated and all of that, will be different from the decision you make when your body is well rested, your brain is well rested, and you can sort of remember more things, pull in more information you need to be making a very factual based decision. So remember and be conscious of decision fatigue. Okay. Another thing that is very important is try as much as possible to automate as many of your tasks and work processes as you possibly can. Now, your organization may have a process of doing things, but because there are some tasks that are specific to you, you may want to re-automate those tasks so that it is easy for you to pick them up and do them, or for you to hand them off to be delegated. And this is how I see someone who is a very strong leader, or someone who is trying to become a strong leader, is someone who has said, okay, for these particular tasks, this is what I do. I get the report from this team, I get that report from that team, I then do this, I then do that. You just put it in a step-by-step process, and you can do it as a video teaching whoever needs to take it up from you. You can do it as a flow chart. You can do it as just simple list of things to do, step-by-step things to do in case you're not around. Make sure that all of your tasks are automated and are documented in terms of the processes that deliver the results from those tasks. That will really help you to be able to delegate to somebody else to help you do if that happens, or even you. It just basically helps you to see things quite quickly, like just in case you're struggling with a process you did the last time, you can just quickly remember them. Another thing is, even when it comes to like very admin stuff, like picking your clothes for the week, meal prepping and all of that, you can have a system that works for you. Even with your kids and all of that, you can have a routine, a system that works for you, such that is almost on autopilot, and you don't need to sit down and think about things. Things just play out as easily as they can, just because you have a system and process in place. Okay. I guess the last thing I want to say is a lot of activities and information overload can lead to your brain being overstimulated. So try as much as possible to, for instance, you're working on a laptop, for instance. I personally kill all of the tabs on my laptop multiple times a day. Once I get to a point where I'm trying to look for a particular document, or I'm trying to look for a particular tab I've opened all morning and I'm finding it difficult, I close everything now. Sometimes I even shut down my system, my laptop totally, so that I can gain that clarity. I feel like if my workspace is clear, my brain will mirror that as well. So that's what I do. And even on my work desk, I clear that away. Probably like my breakfast, the things I've had from breakfast that I've just put on the table, I clear all of that away and get some water, just to make sure all of my desk is fine and clean and clear, so it can mirror how my brain needs to work as well. Okay, so you can do that. Take some minutes, clear your desk, kill all the tabs on your laptop. Sometimes shut it down and then open it up again. Shut it down, take a quick walk, come back, put it on again, and see how better you sort of perform. I guess the other thing I would just sort of add when it comes to like you being productive is time blocking, making sure that on the top of every hour there is something you really need to achieve. On the top of every hour is very important to help you make sure that you are delivering. So for instance, you could say, okay, on top of this hour I have this meeting with this particular vendor. That's fine, that's a good one, right? There are some hours in the day where you don't even know what you need to do. If you don't know what you need to do per hour, that can lead you to taking 2-hour lunch breaks and doing things that had no meaningful value to you, and at the end of the day you're still tired. So you want to make sure that there is a purpose attached to every hour, and at the top of every single hour of your working day, you know what exactly you're going for, and that's just going to change your productivity game. Thank you very much, and see you in the next one.